Hey. We have a new twist, a brand new champion. And he goes by the name of Ryan Garcia. It is about time that I get unpacked, shall we?
All you want, baby.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Back with my original series, Unpacked. And what really happened combined in one episode. In this video, I will let you know what went on and what really happened. Mario Barrios, Ryan Garcia, they just fought yesterday night. Ryan was victorious, but you need to know how it played out. What did he do? Was it a robbery? Was it a fair win? I'm going to answer all those questions and let you know what really happened. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, let's jump right into it. Ryan Garcia became a champion last night, and it was long overdue. I really believe that Ryan needed to win, right? Because you got to understand, Ryan is one of the rare fighters that I'm gonna call it Benjamin Button. If you've seen the movie with Brad Pitt, right? He's a Benjamin Button type of fighter where the carriage came before the horse, meaning the popularity, the fan base, the attention, the views, the following. It all happened before he became a champion. That is pretty rare in the sport of boxing. Usually, what we have seen is we'll use Oscar De La Hoya, his promoter, the Golden Boy. De La Hoya was a decorated amateur, U.S. Olympian out of East L.A., a gold medalist. So before he ever turned pro, we already knew, for the longtime avid boxing fans, who Oscar De La Hoya was. So when he built up this amazing, illustrious career and resume, which is why we respect Oscar the fighter, right? The amateur stuff was early introduction, and then now we started watching him. And I could do this and so on and so forth. Riddick Bowe, Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, Roy Jones Jr. Didn't I just say that? It would take some time. Pensacola in the house. Okay then. We had a good night. I say we had a good night, right? They robbed him in Seoul, Korea, right? Floyd Mayweather, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, all of these fighters, Amir Khan. Good night, hell no, guys. If you watch the amateur circuit, these are all Olympians for their respective country. So these guys were known about before they even turned pro. Ryan did have an amateur career. He fought Devin Haney a couple times in amateur, 5-6 times. But people didn't really know him from that. But the body shot challenge that he was doing, the speed test on Instagram, and he was able to use his age and technology and a Wi-Fi signal and really hone in and tap in into his market to the point where people were already checking for him beforehand. So that was Ryan Garcia's experience. He had money, he had the girls, the cars, the money. He's even been in commercials and movies, brand deals. But for the longest time, the thing that eluded him was a title. And now he got that. So I'm going to break it down and let you know pretty much what I saw in the fight. And Ryan did his thing. On my channel, I'm always going to keep it real. I'm always going to not beat around the bush, not pussyfoot and sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. And I already know how boxing fans are. So this video is coming out early. I don't have to wait. I know what people are going to do. The usual suspects that went into the fight not liking Ryan for whatever reason. And I'm not telling you to like him or not. I don't really care. That's you. But where I come in, where I do care, is the sport of boxing. And for me, I just feel like there's a lot of haters in the sport of boxing, and people don't want to give credit where credit's due. That's it. For me, you got to just give credit where credit's due. It's so much easier to do that. But I know how this game goes. So the Devin Haney fans, the Haneyacks, and he's calling out Shakur Stevenson, all these people who like the opposing side, not Ryan Garcia, right? They're not going to give him credit. Oh, I'm still not impressed, and I wasn't impressed. Barrios sucks and all that. I mean, why are we even doing that? And that's more of the bad and ugly, so I'm jumping the gun a little bit. But why do boxing fans do that? Why did people watch this fight if you thought Mario Barrios was not a respectable fight or champion? You know what I mean? And why were people picking Barrios beforehand, and then now you're trying to flip it and be like, oh man, this is a terrible fight. I'm still not impressed. So for me, I'm not going to do Ryan like that. I'll break it down. So for me, the good for Ryan, we'll start with the good. The good for Ryan Garcia is he got the job done. Throughout training camp, he looked pretty locked in. His weight, he was doing like progress updates. I was doing the whole Ego Weight Watchers. He was looking slim. He was looking pretty trim. And he had an 8-pack before the fight. There were a couple sticky moments where the WBC did a 14-day check and he did his late. Barrios did his on time. There were moments leading up to the fight. All of this is documented on my channel with my show, Ego Weight Watchers, right? His cheeks, he was looking like, Fish Called Wanda, the machinist Christian Bale. There were some moments like that. But all in all, he looked like he worked on his weight and remained focused. And I would say it's a big jump considering the year he had when he fought Devin Haney, right? The Devin Haney year, the man was acting like absolutely crazy and off the rails, right? I don't know what was going on. He talks about pressure and anxiety and mental health issues. That April 20th fight and before that in 2024, Ryan was unhinged. He was doing videos in a hotel room. He looked disheveled. A lot of people were speculating he was on some type of drug or pills or whatever he had going on. It wasn't a good look. So to go from that in 2024 to you took a year off because you got suspended. I'm keeping it real. You got suspended because you popped for Ostarine. Hey, I don't want to hear it. Oh, it was tainted. It was in your system. Strict liability says it is your fault. What did Ludacris say? The name of my insurance is your fault. Luda. Huh. It was in your system. You got to deal with that. You had to pay your fines or whatever. And it is what it is. You had the year suspension. Then you came back and versus Rolly Romero, you had an abysmal performance, dropped early, and it looked like you kind of sold out. Rolly, we know he got cracks. Gervonta Davis, which we'll talk about, stay tuned to the end of the video. He told you Ryan got popped, but he said Rolly is probably the biggest puncher I ever fought. He was like, Rolly got real bricks. So this is what you signed up for. You knew Rolly had power from sparring him years before where he was roughing you up. So really, there's no excuse for Ryan Garcia to look like that. So this is why I'm saying it's good for Ryan. He needed this type of performance where I gave him every round and he had a 10-8 round. You can't really do much better than that. And I will give a little bit of critique, but to come from the 2024 and 2025 Rolly performance and the Devin lunacy, whatever that was, and then popping dirty, you got to give credit and just be like, all right, well deserved. I don't want to hear about, oh, Barrios wasn't this or that. Barrios beat Ugas, almost stopped him, almost stopped Keith Thurman, gave him a very tough fight, gave Tank Davis a tough fight, but Tank is Tank and he's gifted, so he ended up stopping Barrios, right? And Barrios is a warrior. I'm not here for no Barrios slander. It wasn't his night. It was a very bad day in the office. It happens. But credit to Ryan. Round one, Ryan produced a knockdown, 23 seconds. It was under 30 seconds. Came out fast, pop, 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 and caught Mario Barrios. And for real, just like Devin Haney when he fought Brian Norman, sometimes you get in these fights and when somebody catch you like that and hurt you early on, it's like you got hit with a Mack truck. Like, whoa, you're on full energy and they just took your health bar to 65%. You know what I mean? So sometimes that mentally gives the fighter cobwebs. And I think just like the Brian Norman fight with Devin Haney, he got dropped, I think, in the second round. Ryan dropped him in 20-something seconds. And even when Devin Haney fought Ryan, Ryan clipped Devin Haney in the first, minute of their fight. So Ryan can start fast, and you got to give him credit. His timing, his speed, power, precision. And there's a lot of people who are like, oh, he's a one-trick pony. He sucked. He hurt Devin in the first round. He hurt Barrios in the first round. You know what I mean? Got to give him his props. So all in all, this was Ryan coming out party. And I don't really have much of a critique on the performance because I'm not trying to grade on a curve, but Ryan has had a tumultuous up and down career. So I got to factor in all the data points that I know, and that's how I grade boxing. I watch it all the time. I report on it all the time, so I have to grade based on what I've seen. Like, it's not fair if Jermall Charlo been out the ring for 3 to 5 years or something. Why would I grade him like a Terrence Crawford on his performance? It shouldn't be the same. If Crawford's fighting one time a year and more active and staying in shape, you know what I mean? Why would Jermall Charlo have a similar performance given mental health issues, inactivity, etc.? So, it is what it is. And I'm always going to grade the performance based on all the data points that I have. So that being considered, Ryan did very well for himself. And he really shut a lot of people up. That's why I'm saying I can't really fault Ryan for how he fought. My only critique would be, from me, I expected more of a two-way action type of fight. I think Mario Barrios, I thought he would take a few more stands and make it a bit more competitive. I picked Ryan, but I didn't pick a 12-round shutout. Barrios has always been El Azteca. He's been a warrior. So I thought he would really come, and for whatever reason, maybe he's been through too many wars or Ryan's power, whatever reason. I'm not here to make no excuses. Whatever reason, he seemed shell-shocked and very timid and tentative. And it didn't work against the mid-40s Pacquiao. I believe he's going to fight me. I want to thank my promoter, Bob Adam. He showed me, right? That might work against an older age Pacquiao, but against a fast starter and big, strong Ryan, and it didn't work for Barrios. So I got to give Ryan his props. Now, those who've been watching my channel for years, y'all know ain't nothing fake or flaw about me. And while some people are going to criticize Ryan and be like, oh man, he should have did more. Barrios ain't that good. Why didn't he stop Barrios? He should have stopped him. And why was it not as much action? Whatever. Then I kindly remind you of what people were saying before the fight. Right here, you have a former fighter, professional fighter, Ray Boom Boom Mancini. And let's tap in to hear what he was saying about this matchup beforehand. Because what I noticed in this game is you got people, they're good for, in hindsight, breaking down the fight once we have an outcome. They'll be like, oh man, I knew this was going to happen. Ego, everybody knew that. No, everybody didn't know this because you got Boom Boom Mancini and he out here, this is what he was saying before the fight.
I've been getting asked about my thoughts for tonight's fight between Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia. And I've listened to a lot of the boxing pundits and so-called experts talk, and I just can't have a hard time understanding why they see that. And I don't understand why Ryan Garcia is such a big favorite. I don't see it. Mario Barrios is a junkyard dog. This kid can fight. He's fought everybody and anybody. And he's a headache for all of them. His last two fights, he had 2 draws against Abel Ramos and Manny Pacquiao. Abel Ramos can fight. Abel Ramos is a tough son of a gun. And Manny Pacquiao, we know him, was one of the all-time greats. Even though he hadn't fought for a long time, Manny Pacquiao was always in the gym. And Mario Barrios actually came down the stretch and won the second half of the fight in battle of counts. Could have got the decision. But Ryan Garcia ain't Manny Pacquiao. And he ain't Abel Ramos. He's got a left hook. Yeah, so what? A lot of guys can punch with left hook, right hand. If you depend on one punch, you ain't much of a fighter. You got to have both hands. And Mario Barrios is a guy that you need to beat with both hands. So I'm picking Mario Barrios to win tonight. I'm picking him to walk through Ryan Garcia. I don't think Ryan Garcia is going to have much for him. I think Mario Barrios may make him quit. He may make him quit. That's my views on tonight's fight. Barrios will win tonight. I'm confident of that one. And he may stop him and make him quit.
Boom. So you just heard the man, he said, this is a pro fighter, said Barrios is a junkyard dog. He arguably beat Pacquiao in the back half of the fight. Ryan will have nothing for him. Ryan might get stopped. Ryan might quit in the fight. And he's a one-handed fighter. All he got is a left hook. Big deal. This is a professional fighter. And he was like, these so-called experts, I don't know why y'all are heavily backing Ryan Garcia. I don't see it. Barrios comes to fight. So don't flip it now and not give the kid his credit when he, not only did he beat Barrios, he dominated and won every round. Not only did he do that, the stuff that a lot of people were saying, it's not just Boom Boom Mancini. Shakur Stevenson has been on record saying Ryan got one punch, the left hook. Guess what? Ryan sat Barrios down in 20 seconds with the right hand, right? So far be it from me to be any type of hater. That's why I can't really blame Ryan. Ryan needed this performance. He would have been laughed at even worse if he got cooked by Barrios. So I'm not mad at it because I know what people were saying beforehand. Boom Boom Mancini literally said he's a one-handed fighter and you need more than that at the elite level. And I don't see why y'all picking Barrios. He's a junkyard dog and he gonna run through him and probably knock him out or could knock him out, right? Chris Mannix, this is what he was saying. He was saying that Ryan was in a crossroads position. So if he were to lose, then Ryan would be fighting YouTube fights or at Misfits. Do you know how disrespectful that is?
It really was do or die for him out there. If he had performed poorly against Mario Barrios, where would Ryan Garcia be at this point? He would be fighting maybe on the YouTube circuit, the Misfit Boxing circuit. He would be a B-side in a lot of these fights. That win puts him right back in the mix and creates so many great options.
So, again, I can't really knock Ryan's performance when you had people making these statements, saying Barrios was going to win. They weren't impressed with Ryan Garcia. And boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport. His last performance left a lot more to be desired. So a lot of people weren't impressed with it. You know, he got dropped and like it did look like he kind of quit and didn't want no parts of Rolly. And then he never did a rematch. So we never got any kind of clarification. So to go from, again, Devin Haney year, that was obviously horrible for a multitude of reasons. Rolly year, you fought in the streets or whatever, and then you're like, oh, I was injured, I didn't even train, it was weird with no crowd. Those are excuses. Nobody's trying to hear that. People were counting Ryan out, and Ryan delivered. Hurt Barrios early and often. To be honest, I also give him credit for, it would have been easier to revert back to form and be the aggressive Ryan and try to jump on him and like, and try to look good and highlight reel him. But he stayed the course and he stayed focused, laser focused, and actually pretty much outboxed Barrios and won every round. So a lot of people didn't have that on their bingo card. So don't try to switch it up now or make Barrios look out to be like he was like a horrible champion. I don't think it was any of that. I think Ryan had a good strategy. The other thing is he had his pops, right? A lot of people, they were overall questioning his move to leave Derrick James and Eddie Reynoso in the past and have his dad in his corner, right? These are all concerns that we as a boxing public had for Ryan Garcia. Is he disciplined? He's never been a champion. You know, can he become a champion? Does he take boxing seriously? Is he a one-handed fighter? And I feel like it wasn't a flawless performance, right? Some people could argue, oh, he could have did more. But there has to be, y'all have to be realistic, bro. You can't have all these criticisms and then see progress and see somebody improving and answering some of those questions. Like, does he have power with his right hand? Check. He answered that question. He wasn't a left-handed fighter. He was hurting Barrios with the right hand too. They said Barrios had more heart and was more Mexican, right? They said Barrios had Goosen, so he had the DNA of Ryan because Goosen was the X Factor who had worked with Ryan. So Barrios, to be honest, the bad and the ugly go for him. He was bigger than Ryan Garcia, and you had the coach that used to work with Ryan Garcia. It should be easy. Y'all should know all of Ryan's flaws, all of his weaknesses, because Joe Goosen directly was Ryan's trainer and known him since he was a kid or teenager or whatever. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I'm not finna hate. Now, if you want to have a conversation about Ryan and Devin rematch or Shakur, these are separate conversations. But the fight I saw, I'm giving Ryan his props. He looked improved. Even his footwork and defense looked like he had just done some improvements. And also, and I don't do no like glazing content. I'm telling you what really happened in this sport. The other issue is there was an immense amount of pressure on Ryan Garcia to perform for all the reasons I've already listed, but just in general. Never been a champion, coming off a loss. That's the other issue. A lot of people were like, Ryan don't deserve a title shot because he's coming off a loss where he looked bad. How did he get this? How did WBC allow this, right? So Ryan came into this fight with a ton of pressure for like 6 different reasons. Is he disciplined? One, pressure. Is he a left-handed type of fighter only where that's his only good punch? That was pressure. Can he make weight? Pressure. Can he pass all his PED tests? Pressure. Why is he getting a title shot off of the Rolly pressure. So like the pressure, I guess why I'm so animated about this is because this is why I like boxing. For real. To see a man go into Mortal Kombat and have the whole world against him and still prevail and accomplish said goal. You had a new trainer that people didn't believe in. You shouldn't have even got a title shot, according to a lot of people. You're coming off a loss. We question your discipline. People question if you could do it without being juicy, right? All of these pressures that Ryan was facing, and then he did a very good job and a dominant performance against a very good champion that other people, Conor Ben, all these dudes wanted to fight Mario Barrios, right? Ryan just got it. He got the name. And, you know, like I said, you had Boom Boom Mancini and Paulie Malignaggi. You had a lot of people hating, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to dog walk Ryan. You won this one, you know, let's see what's next. That's pretty much how I feel. So very, very good, solid performance from Ryan for cleaning up his work. I questioned his defense many a time, and he seemed a bit more defensively responsible. He seemed focused, and there were moments where it would have been easy for him to get reckless, but then he could have got counter. Barrios got hard, so Barrios could counter him, right? And then it would have just been dumb, because then if he got dropped or got stopped or got beaten, Barrios mounted a comeback, right? Then people would really be clowning Ryan. So for me, I always take the W. You can go back, watch tape, see what you could clean up and what you could work on and new things to implement. Secure the bag, secure the W, and Ryan did that. He's now a champion, and that's what really happened. Let me know how you feel. This was my honest opinion on the fight. Job well done. Ryan improved in categories that people wanted to see him improve for. So I'm going to give him credit for that. His body work was good. He was landing the harder power shots. Barrios looked to be bigger. You know, there's all types of people who were picking Barrios. Now they talking about Barrios was ill, he was sick. Man, I'm not trying to hear none of that, bro. If he was sick, he should have pulled out like Richardson Hitchens did. So all these excuses, rather than just give the man, it was his night, he did his thing, and be done with it. Period. That's what I'm doing, and I'm going to move on, and I'm going to enjoy my Sunday. We unpacked. We unpacked. We unpacked. We unpacked. Coming to you live, Boxingego Unpacked. Yeah. We unpacked. We unpacked. We unpacked. Coming to you live. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate. So ultimately,